right here off of the main road.
Okay, today I'm gonna try and answer a few questions. I have bonfire going in the background, still burning up all the scraps that are around here. One of the other reasons that we bought property out here is where it's located. We actually are at the back corner of this entire subdivision, which means we're surrounded on two sides of our property by forest land. So it's almost like having an exaggerated backyard. Allows me to hunt for my property. There's a lot of wildlife in the area. On our property, we've seen moose, we've seen deer. We haven't seen the elk, but we've definitely seen their trails. In fact, during the fall into the winter, one of the main game trails for the elk herds that are in the area cross right through our property, straight across. So we've definitely seen that over the last couple winters as well. So we've also seen snowshoe hare, quail. I thought what I had seen were bobcat tracks. One of the first times I came up here, my neighbor happened to have a trail cam up. It wasn't bobcat. What it was a mountain lion with her two babies that were up here. So definitely have mountain lions up here. In fact, even since the fire, up on the top corner up there, I've seen mountain lion tracks there in the snow in the past month. So still have mountain lion out here. Since the fires have come through, not as much. The only thing I've seen up here has been moose. We've definitely had fresh moose tracks. I haven't seen one, but definitely had some fresh tracks in the mud and in the snow, as well as the mountain lion. We did have a lot of kind of smaller animals, the rabbits and squirrel and just chipmunks, small rodents. I'm afraid most of those probably died in this forest fire. All the big game was able to escape something like this. In fact, I was watching a production put on by, I can't even remember who it is, but if I can remember, I'll post it. I think I have a YouTube video where they track the elk herds in the area, and they have collars on some of them, and it shows that even with this fire, they never really moved away. They never ran away. They got out of the way of the fire, and even right after the fire had passed through, they're back into that burned area, because there's so many areas through here that it didn't burn everything. It left these green pockets. Our neighbors, just down the driveway, it burnt through their entire meadow, but within a few weeks it was greening up. So those type of areas, the elk were right back in. And while I didn't see the tracks across our property this year, they were assuredly close. They're down in some of these grassy meadows where there was a lot of food for them to have in this late fall into early winter. So definitely the wildlife was a big part of why we moved up this direction and bought this property. In fact, I had a hunting trip planned from my property from our tent in the fall that we had to cancel because all of not only could I not get to my property, all of the national forests were shut down. They weren't letting anybody in this unit at all where I had my tags to go hunting for elk. It could be really good here in a couple years once we start getting some of this new growth. That new fresh growth is a lot of the material that both deer and elk and moose all love to graze on. These old trees don't do anything for them, but all these fresh new stuff that, I know I'm going to spend a lot of time and money planting is exactly what they're going to be going after.
One of the animal encounters I forgot to relate was when I was developing the spring. I was doing some masonry work right at the head of the spring, and all of a sudden I hear a big crash up above me. I look up, and about 100 feet up the hill from me, a huge black bear had just crashed through a rotten log. Looked at me as if it was afraid, and then just ran away up the hill.
So I kind of got in trouble last time I posted my video for my wife because it's up here on my own, and while I was wearing my chaps, I wasn't wearing my helmet and ear protection. So yes, she's right. Disclaimer, don't do as I do. You'll see me from now on using chaps and both helmet and ear protection. So definitely got in trouble, especially when she saw me cutting down these trees behind me halfway up above my head with a chainsaw and not wearing any helmet. She's right. Definitely take as much precaution as you can. And right now I'm out here by myself, so if something were to happen to me, it would be a rough ride to try and get some help up here.
Just after filming this, I ran into a small herd of elk as I was leaving my property. I wasn't quick enough to get my camera up, but 30 seconds later I came across this young moose.
Apparently this is a day for elk, because here's another group right up here. It's not the same one, we're too far away, and there's two bulls in that one. None of them huge. But just right here off of the main road. Pretty cool. And just to make it fun, that one above is actually a whitetail buck right above the bull. Let's see if I can get a better shot here. Right there, he's behind the tree again. But yeah, right there, I believe you got a whitetail buck right next to the elk. Crazy.
I had about a dozen other deer sightings on my way home from our property that evening. This is pretty typical for a trip to and from our property. Our property isn't just about the destination, but it's about the enjoyment we get on the journey there. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below.